Welcome, FNews57 here. Once again, I'm on my Xbox Series X to bring you another guide. For today's video, I'll be showing you how to unlock the Night Fight 40 Gamer Score achievement/trophy on the mission Low Profile. This is the co-op Spec Ops mission, and what you need to do is earn 3 stars. So unfortunately, or fortunately, depending on what you think, this is done in co-op. It must be done in online co-op. It cannot be done solo unless your teammate dies, and it cannot be done split screen. As far as team comp goes, having 2 medics will make it a little bit easier, but my preference is to run 1 assault, run 1 medic. This way you have the ranged revive and you have team armor. At the end of the day, it's really personal preference. So I will leave in the loading time just to explain what we have to do. Finishing the mission in under 16 minutes is actually pretty easy and straightforward. There is another achievement for finishing the entire mission without ever triggering an alarm. That's actually relatively easy, but that'll be a separate video because we're going to go hot on this just so that we don't have to worry about spending any additional time. As I mentioned, I'm playing with my friend Tara, so shout out to him for helping. Unfortunately, my headset is currently broken, so I cannot actually talk to him. If you're playing with a good teammate and you can talk, then you could probably do it in about 6 minutes or less. I personally like to take the RPK, but the RPK is louder, so if you're worried about going silent, you're going to want to grab the M4 or one of those various SMGs over here in the plane. Now, you can use your armor ability while in the plane, which is awesome. And you can also deploy your armor plates into your vest. Why we don't start with them, I have no idea. And then go ahead and click the jump button. So we're looking at a 11:28 start time. As long as we get this done in less than 16 minutes, we're good. And we should be able to do this in even less time. The route is fairly specific. We're going to go for A. By going for A first, this allows us a pretty straight shot with relatively minimal enemies. So there's a little portion of the roof that sticks up higher than the rest of the roof, and this is going to be the portion that we want to land on. There's usually between 2 to 3 enemies exactly on the roof. It just kind of depends. If you can go silent, it'll make your life a little bit easier, but it's really difficult to do. So regardless of what happens, you're going to get down in here into the actual building. More than likely, you're going to trip an alarm. That's all right. We just want to kill everything as quickly as possible. We're only here for time. We don't care if we're silent or if we're spotted. Crawl over to the wall and disable the traps. Crawl into this room where these enemies were. These lasers are low enough that we can crawl underneath them. It is easier if you do not trip the alarm, but if you do, don't worry about it. That doesn't matter for this achievement. There's 2 nuclear warheads right there. There's normally lasers here. You have to jump over and go around like this. And then there is a ammo crate. Now, I think we did trip the alarm, so that's alright. There's also a room over here, but there's really nothing that we need in this room. So at this point, we're simply just going to check the stairs, disable the trap on the stairs. I'm going to leave a present for those nasty enemies, and I'm going to take the little bit of extra time to use my armor plate, restock on ammo, and then we're going to go back up to the top of the roof. Kind of mind that try not to get spotted up here. It'll make life a little easier. Go to the top of the roof, jump off, and if you do it perfectly, you can glide all the way down into the water. If you hit the handrail like I did, no big deal. It's still faster than sprinting. And we're going to go over here to B. Not really too worried about taking a direct path or staying out of the patrol path. I will go ahead and dump an armor box in the way. It's pretty nice. Just make sure that you mark it if you are deploying armor. If you go up and to the left, you can avoid the patrols. There's usually a patrol right here in the road, and there's a vehicle that patrols as well. Again, it just depends on which achievement you're going for. If you do get spotted, you can lose the patrol in this building. And then we're going to go over here to the actual barracks building. As you can tell, they have decided that, oh, well, it is time to hunt us down. So we're going to have to clear this floor by floor. I like leaving a claymore at the base of the stairs. Doesn't really matter. It's personal preference. There's no booby traps in here. There's just several different rooms. In each room, there's a couple of different spots that have a warhead. Whether that warhead has the plutonium core or not is random. Once you find the plutonium core, go ahead and grab it. If you need to deploy armor or restock armor, you can do so. And then go ahead and restock on your ammo. So at this point, it works a little bit better if we can exit the bottom of the building. There really isn't a good exit up top. But depending on how many hostiles are spooked, you may have a bunch of enemies waiting for you. Now we can pretty much just sprint over to C. And C is going to be our hardest part. So you will want to make sure that you're reloaded, topped off on armor, all of those good fancy things. But this is relatively straightforward. If you go up to the far left and hug the far left, you don't have to worry about patrols or roads or vehicles or anything else, but that doesn't matter. Again, we're not doing the stealth achievement on this playthrough, so we're just going for time. There's 2 more guards right here that guard the bridge. If you're quick, you can take them out. It's not a big deal. You don't have to, but I like going down this left side only because this puts us in a little bit better position for the comm center, and you won't be spotted by the enemies while you're crossing the bridge.
Changing mags.
Now, the comm center is the hardest part because there's multiple buildings that this whole thing can actually spawn in. There's going to be a whole group of guards, and as you can see over there, that annoying juggernaut. So if you don't want to be spotted, it's kind of best to just give them a wide berth. There's this smaller building, and then there's the large building. The large building, in my experience, is normally where the game decides to spawn the plutonium core, but it is completely random. So you're going to have to kind of check both buildings. This building won't take you very long at all to check. More than likely, going into this building, you may in fact have the juggernaut to deal with. It is far, far easier if you don't have to deal with that juggernaut. But if you have to deal with that juggernaut, then just know that he takes a plethora of ammunition to bring down, and he does an insane amount of damage. We're probably going to be running into the juggernaut. Yep, he's in the building. But I was able to do enough damage that he's not really much of a threat. So right now I'm going to drop my armor crate. This is a bad spot to drop the armor crate, but we're kind of in a hurry. So go ahead and give armor, take armor, get ammo, whatever you might need to do. Most of the enemies will assault you while you're in that building if you've triggered the alarm. If there's a few left over, they'll be hiding around the outside of this building, but there's really not too much that you have to worry about. The Juggernaut's already dead. There is a core spawn spot down here on the bottom, and there's also, I do believe, a spawn spot up top here. So it's easier if you come in from the top of the building, but hey, it is what it is. Now the hard part is bringing in enough ammo. There is an ammo crate in the garage. If you've tripped the enemy like we have, I highly recommend that you go ahead and make sure that you pick up any ammo that you can ahead of time, and then kind of make your way to the back of the buildings, and we'll circle around for Exfil. You don't have to do that, but it's a little bit easier because I've used up a lot of my ammo. You're probably going to get shot at if you tripped the alarms earlier by a couple of random enemies. They shouldn't be armed with anything too heavy, so you should be pretty much okay. There is a truck that you may run into that carries like 6 enemies, and if you get shot at by that, it's pretty annoying. But it's just going to be going to Exfil. Matter of fact, here is said truck. So it's actually going to go past us to the Exfil point. It's not going to stop and fight us, thank God. And then we have time here at the Exfil point that we have to wait for the helicopter. And most people just sprint straight down to the helicopter, which that is possible. You can do that. But there's actually no reason to. The helicopter is going to land just as quickly, whether you sprint in there or not. So what I like to do is go ahead and try to mitigate the incoming enemy fire that I'm going to be under, because all of these things are going to the actual objective. And then as soon as you hear the audio that the chopper has landed, within about 10 seconds that will start a 1-minute timer, and you are forced to get to the chopper within that 1 minute. It'll give you updates like 30-second warning and whatnot, but you can relatively easily sprint to the chopper from where we were in about 20 seconds. So as long as the timer isn't under 20 seconds, you're good to go. Once you get in this chopper, you have a few seconds. It'll take maybe another 20 seconds or so, but eventually it will no longer let you do anything, and that is when the mission is officially over, which is when our timer officially ends. Our time was 10 minutes, 24 seconds. Not bad for a hot run with literally no communication. If for some reason you do not get the pop-up, but your time is under the 16 minutes, simply go to the official club. In the official club, it will show all of your unlocked achievements, and as long as the achievement is unlocked here, then you're good to go and you did get credit for the mission. I hope you enjoyed the guide. As I mentioned earlier, smash those like and subscribe buttons. This way you never miss out on another piece of content. Till next time, stay frosty.